So Days Gone Remastered is coming, and while I would have loved a Days Gone 2 over just the same game as the last time we got Days Gone, I'm still quite happy. And in this video I wanted to go over every single thing that we know about Days Gone Remastered, all the changes, all the additions and things like that that are going to get neatened up, and essentially just run through it, give some opinions, and well, just let you know what's coming, basically. So firstly, let me just explain the pricing and the upgrade information, just because that confused me at first. If you already own Days Gone on, let's say, PS4, it's going to be a $10 upgrade, but that won't apply to anyone that got the game through the PlayStation Plus collection, so keep that in mind. The full standalone price for the game is going to be $50 if you're getting it on PS5. And if you're playing it on PC, let's say you have the edition on Steam, the same as I have, it's essentially going to be a DLC called Broken Road, which will be $10, again as the upgrade for the PS4 owners, and you'll essentially get everything that I'm going to talk about in this video. To be honest, $10 isn't too bad. Like, a lot of companies I can imagine would be quite cheeky at times with their little DLCs and go, oh, double it, let's make it 20, double it, pass on to the next person, all this nonsense. I think $10 is fair. The standalone game for $50, I can see it. I'm not going to complain. I think it's a great game as it is, and if people haven't bought it for whatever reason, maybe it was the hate that the game got when it came out, so it put people off even trying to buy it, fair enough. I do believe there's been a lot of sales for this game over the years, so I feel like lots of people are already going to own the game anyway, so I think it's fair if they do charge $50 for the people that have never played it before, because you kind of get everything you want. But my question would be, can you not just buy the old PS4 version and then just do the $10 upgrade if it's on sale? Although I can imagine they probably remove the sale price anywhere that they could possibly find it, because they want people to pay the $50. I'm not sure. But $10 upgrade if you already own it, and $50 if you don't. And I'm going to assume, just because of the way the world is now, it's going to be like a direct comparison if you're like in the UK like me. So like 50 quid, probably, £10, I don't know. Maybe even 60 because they're cheeky. It's going to be available on PlayStation 5 and PC. It's coming April 25th this year. And honestly, I'm quite excited. Alright, so let's get into it. We've got visual and performance enhancements. This is going to include graphical upgrades like sharper textures, enhanced environmental lighting and shadows, and more detailed foliage and longer draw distances. Essentially, the game's just going to look better. I hope. It's interesting though, because I played this game on PC for the majority, which is weird because obviously I played it a lot on PS4. But I have put so many hours into this game on PC just because you can mod it, you can have a lot of fun with it. But with those mods, you can actually get graphical improvements. So I don't know how different the game's going to look, at least for someone like me who's played it with mods that has already done all those sharper textures and enhanced environmental lighting and all that stuff. But it's nice anyway for those that are still playing on console. There's going to be two different modes in terms of performance on PS5. You've got performance mode, which will target 1440p, which will be then upscaled to 4K and playable at 60 frames per second. And then you'll have quality mode, which is a higher native resolution that has more visual effects and all that stuff, and it will probably cap at around 30 frames per second, which still kind of sucks. Just saying, it's 2025 and we still capped at 30 frames per second if you want the highest quality. Don't know if I agree with it, but it is what it is. I don't want to start a console war. I stay out of the console wars. I've got a PS5 and I've got a PC, and I kind of feel like I'm everywhere, because PC, you kind of have everything on Xbox too, so it's a win-win situation. If you're going to do anything, do it that way. I'm telling you, it works perfectly. There's also going to be variable refresh rate support, so the gameplay will be a bit smoother than you'd be used to if you played the original, but that's obviously only going to be compatible with certain displays. And no, I'm not going to do the research and tell you if your display is VRR capable. That's up to you, I'm afraid. Sorry, I can't be bothered doing that. In terms of the PS5 version, there's going to be full haptic feedback integration, so that's going to include the motorcycle rumble, which I do think will be quite cool. And as you're going over the different terrains and stuff, you'll feel that impact through the controller. I like that. Your controller probably won't know, and it'll probably die a lot quicker, but still. But those controller feedbacks will also include things like rain and thunder, so I think it's going to be quite immersive. There's also going to be the use of the adaptive triggers in the PS5 controller, so you'll get resistance when you're aiming and firing different weapons, and the trigger tension will vary based on the weapon behavior and the action's intensity. Whatever that means, I don't know, but I can imagine you're trying to fight a horde and you're like really wishing you'd been working out your fingers a lot more when things get dicey. I don't know. I do really like the controller sort of feedback. I think it's underrated, because obviously we've had it for a long time with like things like vibrations and all of that. But now with certain games, you do get a really good feel within your hands that you don't notice until you notice it, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't change the game for you, but it makes it better. It makes the experience a lot better. And I like that. But let me know in the comments down below, do you turn that kind of stuff off or do you leave it on? I'm curious. Next up, we've got the new game modes. Now, the first one I'm very excited for just because it's something that I've been asking for since the game came out, and they kind of did it with the challenges, but they never quite fully did it. And that's Horde Assault Mode. So this is going to be an arcade-style survival mode where you'll face off against endless waves of freakers, armed survivors, and new enemy types, apparently. Now, I've seen the video for this. You've got things like flaming zombies. Essentially, it just looks like they've made all sorts of new things that they can add into the game just to sort of build up of what they already have. And like I said, there was a challenge with like an endless horde, but it was on one map and you were locked into that map. I do believe this might be more open. I could be wrong. There might be different maps you can choose from to play it, but I just think they should just have it in the whole world. Imagine if the entire world was just constantly a horde and you just had to go on and see how long you could survive for. Wouldn't be surprised. But as long as they give options of maps for this, it'll be perfect. And the fact that it's endless, incredible. And you'll essentially have to rack up a high score, you'll unlock new playable characters, custom patches which you'll use as upgrades for your character, so you'll get different attributes like unlimited stamina, all that kind of stuff. I saw there was explosive bullets too. That sounds fun. Love it. Love it. I cannot wait for that. Next, we're going to have a permadeath mode also, so you'll be able to play the full campaign without any second chances. I personally don't have the stomach for it, to be honest. It's too anxiety ridden. I'm not against it, but I'd try it once, I'd die, I'd never play it again, I'm telling you. And if you don't know what permadeath is, if you die, that's it, it's over. You gotta start from the very beginning. There's no like, please, please. It doesn't work, I've tried. But apparently there will be exclusive rewards for players who do complete the game in this mode. Whatever those rewards may be, I don't know. It's probably only going to be a certain few people that get those rewards, but we'll see. And then there's something called a Quick Start mode, which I'm not too sure about, but apparently if you've got to complete the main story as fast as possible, so it's kind of like a speed run mode, I guess, and it records your time and performance, and then you basically will be a leaderboard so you can see how quickly you've completed the whole of the Days Gone campaign, which could be fun. It'll be interesting to see if you can skip the cutscenes, or if it automatically skips cutscenes for you, just because I don't know how that would work, but, you know, it is what it is. I guess put as much speed as you can into skipping those cutscenes. Next up, we've got photo mode enhancements, and these I actually really like, just in terms of making thumbnails and making cool pictures from within the game. But something that I really wish every single game would do that has a photo mode is time of day control, and they're adding that into the new photo mode in Days Gone Remastered. So you'll be able to essentially change the lighting in the shot. You can get to nighttime, daytime, all of that stuff. You'll probably be able to change the weather too, hopefully, maybe, I don't know. But at least being able to change the time of day is wonderful, so I like that. There'll also be a 3-point lighting system, so you'll be able to manually place light sources to be able to create like that perfect cinematic shot if you want to. The game is beautiful, and it is crazy, some of the pictures that come out of this game. They're really, really good, so I do like that they've enhanced the photo mode quite a bit. And then they've also going to add custom logos, so you can add logos or watermarks to your shots for personalizing it and sharing it and all that good stuff. But I like that. Basically, the time of day control is the main thing I'm interested in there. And then finally, for the accessibility upgrades, we're going to have a high contrast mode, which will improve visibility for colorblind people and visually impaired and all that stuff. Game speed settings, so you can adjust the pace of gameplay to make it more manageable or intense. I like that. I like that a lot. The more intense one, not the manageable one. We don't have time for that. There's going to be collectible audio cues, which will help players locate collectibles via audio signals. I don't know if people struggled with finding those collectibles, but I like that. You know, anything like that is nice. You've got UI narration, controller remapping, that's nice, and a field of view slider. I assume that's going to be for PS5, just because I think we've already been able to do that on PC, and if we haven't, there's at least mods that where you can do it, so. But all in all, for $10, if you already own the game, I think it's great. I think, like, hopefully the new Horde mode is good enough that it justifies that extra $10. I can imagine it will, in my opinion, as long as it's fun to play and it has that replayability factor, and rather than just, you know, play it once and then you don't really play it again. As long as it kind of makes you keep wanting to come back and upgrade and get better perks and all that stuff, it's perfect. For $10, I proper agree with it. Normally, I get really annoyed when companies sort of re-release games they've already made for pretty much the same price as when they first made them. But the fact that they've got an upgrade option if you already own the game, which I feel like if people are interested in it, they probably already own it. $10 to me is nice. It's a nice price. Obviously, we'd all love it for free, but we can't expect them to do that. I will say, though, if you want my $10, make a second game. Yeah? Days Gone 2. How about that? Use the money that we're going to pay for this remastered version and put it towards a Days Gone 2. How about that? Or maybe a new game from the studio, Ben Studios. I'd like that. Just saying. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Will you be getting this game for yourself? My voice is going. For whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe I talk too much. Yes, I do.